What's going on, guys? It's Michael MGF, and today I'm going to be doing my last LEGO Marvel Superheroes Guardians of the Galaxy set review on the Milano Spaceship Rescue, and the set number for this one is 76021. The recommended ages are 8 through 14, and it has a piece count of 665, while the price point is $74.99. I don't know about you guys, but I am really excited to finally be done with the Guardians of the Galaxy set reviews, and I'm glad to finally be at the last of them, of these three sets, the biggest of these three sets, and mainly because you guys might remember what I did with the Avengers back in 2012. I'm going to take some of the minifigures that we received from these sets and add my own paint details to them, and I'm totally going to revamp Groot and do a lot to Rocket as well. So pretty much I'm going to take the main Guardians of the Galaxy team and I'm going to Rossify them, and I'm really looking forward to getting started on that because the film comes out in, I think, only 2 months. So I'm just glad to finally be here at the last of the three reviews, so I no longer have to keep them, looking the way they do, and I can get to, painting them. So I'm excited about that. Hopefully you guys are too. But I mean, other than that, the Milano itself is also really great. Iconic vehicle from the film, straight, out of the film, brought, into a physical form here by the LEGO Group, and it's been done in a great way. Obviously, it's slightly out of scale. What can you do? It's still a great set, and definitely worth that 75 bucks. But for right now, we're gonna go ahead and take a look at all 5 of the minifigures included with the Milano Spaceship Rescue. Alright, so we're going to start off with Star-Lord, the second variation of Star-Lord, actually, and I assume at some point in the movie, as we've seen in the trailers, they get, or at least the main, the main Guardians, aside from Groot and Rocket, get these red uniforms, and that's what the Guardians are wearing in this set. They're wearing these red uniforms, and honestly, I think it's really awesome to see that brought over into this set. But starting off with the helmet, this is the exact same helmet mold that we saw in the Star Blaster Showdown, but in case you didn't see that review, I'll go over it again. This is a new mold, fantastic new design. I absolutely adore it. It's accurate and everything I would expect from a Star-Lord helmet. And I love how the hair actually comes up from the top, and obviously that's not actually a part of an actual hair piece attached to the head. It's a part of the actual mold, and that's really awesome. Along with all the printing on the face, I love the the red lenses with the glare printed onto them and the ventilation beneath that. Just great helmet overall and fantastic printing by the LEGO Group. And then if we go ahead and remove the helmet, you can see the head. It really resembles Chris Pratt. I absolutely love that head, and the smirk is just right. And I've been working on a Green Arrow minifigure recently, so seeing the facial hair is kind of something I can relate to, so that's pretty cool. And then if we go ahead and flip the head around, you can see that we do have the alternative facial expression for Star-Lord here, and this is obviously pretty much very similar to the other one, just more aggressive, which is cool. And yeah, so putting the helmet back on, though, so we can talk about the torso, you can see the torso is really awesome. It's sort of like a jacket that Star-Lord is wearing, and I love all the little lines that are going on it. Just the overall design is great. There's even a little pattern on the little shirt there, or the part of the shirt that you can see, and I think that's really great. And I don't know what this pin is, but it's printed onto the characters that do have this uniform on. I don't know what the pin symbolizes, but whatever this uniform is, that pin is on pretty much every single one of these uniforms that they're wearing. So yeah, and then if we go ahead and take a look at the back, you can see the back is pretty much just a continuation of the same details we saw on the front of the torso, but it's still definitely really great, and I absolutely love the printing work, at least the the design work that goes onto this printing here. But if we go ahead and take a look at the legs, this is something I wanted to address, is because I'm not going to talk about them with the next two figures. The legs are literally the exact same on Star-Lord, Gamora, and Drax, because they're all wearing practically the same uniform. Obviously, Drax isn't wearing the shirt portion of the uniform, but they're pretty much all wearing the same uniform, so they all have this exact same pair of legs, so I'm not really going to talk about it when I go over Gamora and Drax. But still, I think it's a really great pair of legs. I love the straps right here and the individual lines running through them. The little gray, black, and brown details above them are just really great, and definitely an awesome new pair of printed legs. And then Star-Lord does have his new element guns, which is pretty awesome. His element guns kind of resemble that of some Halo plasma pistols. And speaking of Halo, I'm recording this on the day E3 starts, so hopefully we're getting some Halo news today. That's not really on topics, but these new molded pistols are really great, and I'm glad that the LEGO Group at least decided to make some newly molded guns for these Guardians of the Galaxy sets, both with Star-Lord and the Sakarans. We'll get to the Sakaran in a bit, but for the most part, that's pretty much it for Star-Lord. But he does actually come with his thrusters that you can put on his legs, and if you guys saw the second trailer, you know that Star-Lord is going to do some flying around in this film, so that's pretty awesome that we get these transparent bricks to put underneath his feet to resemble that. So other than that, though, that's pretty much it for Star-Lord. I think he's a great minifigure and a nice new variation for the character. So, as previously mentioned, they are all wearing these same uniforms, but Gamora does have her own unique torso, and once again, the exact same pair of legs, but they are still awesome. And yeah, so you can see she does actually come with a sword, which is pretty awesome. You get an extra one of these. You'll see that in the extra pieces segment of this video. But yeah, so Gamora, she is exclusive to the set. Both her and Drax are exclusive to this set. So this is the first time I'm getting to review a new Guardians, new Guardians member. And but yeah, so we're gonna go ahead and remove her hairpiece just to get a quick look at her torso. And you can see her torso is really nice. Once again, having that same exact pin that I don't actually know, I don't know what that pin symbolizes, but other than that, though, it's just a ton of detail and a ton of accurate little lines that we've seen, from the actual suit brought onto this actual torso here. And I think it's a really great, nicely designed torso. But then we also have, I'm putting the hairpiece back on. I shouldn't be doing that yet. You can see we do have the back of the torso as well, which is actually slightly more detailed than the back of the torso for Star-Lord, but is definitely pretty nice overall. And yeah, now if we can go over the head, you can see the head is a little bit more aggressive on this side, which is pretty cool. And just like Gamora, she has these silver little designs on her face, which is pretty cool. And those are printed in a metallic silver, and they're not like, just a basic gray or anything, which is pretty nice. And then we have the alternative facial expression. This is actually the primary facial expression. I actually had her on the secondary from what you just saw there. This is pretty much the primary head that Gamora should be using. And this is pretty much just a more toned down head, which is pretty nice. And there's really nothing else to say about it. But it really resembles Zoe Saldana in a great way, and I think that's pretty awesome. Not to mention the purple highlights that are running through her hair. She does have more purple highlights than that in the actual film, but hey, that's why I'm going to be painting these minifigures, to actually add in those sorts of details that the LEGO Group simply couldn't print on, which is fine. I'm glad that we at least got some sort of purple details, and the LEGO Group didn't just give us a black hairpiece for Gamora here. But I mean, yeah, so other than that, though, that's pretty much it for Gamora. Great representation of this new Guardians member. Alright, and now we've got Drax the Destroyer, and easily one of the most detailed minifigures I've seen come from the LEGO Group in a long time. These designs are ridiculous. But there's one problem, and I know a lot of you guys are going to disagree with me, but I just don't feel like the LEGO Group should have made him light bluish gray. I understand why LEGO made Drax gray. If you look at the trailers, you look at some promotional artwork, yeah, he does look kind of gray. But Drax was always green in the comics, and he does have a greenish tint to his skin in the film, so honestly, I still think green would have been a lot more appropriate. And once again, I fully understand why LEGO Group made him gray. He does look slightly gray, but I still think green would have been a better fit. And that's really, honestly, probably the biggest issue with this set. And it's not even that huge of a deal, is the fact that Drax is gray. That's how fantastic this set is. It's just a minor color change on one figure is literally the biggest problem that this set has, which is honestly pretty awesome if you ask me. But yeah, so honestly, I think Drax is a great minifigure overall. There's a little bit of hairs on his legs. Can I get them off? Go away, hairs. I don't like you. No one likes you. Go away. That's a little bit better. But yeah, so other than that, though, you can see he does come with his two daggers, which is pretty cool. They're just basic knives, rubber knives. They're not really that interesting, but hey, at least we get the daggers. And once again, same exact pair of legs, but other than that, it's just a ton of detailed printing. You see this printing on his torso and on the arms, all of his tattoos. They're just insane. I love how the LEGO Group implemented little Lego skulls into the design rather than using imagery of actual normal heads, which is pretty cool. I love seeing that type of crap coming from the LEGO Group. But I mean, honestly, it just really, I can't even go over how insanely detailed this design is. This is unbelievably detailed. I think it's phenomenally accurate. Is that a word? It's just really accurate, and I think it's great overall for this minifigure. And LEGO Group did a great job, other than the fact that he probably should have been green. And we've got our big baddie for the film, freaking Ronan the Accuser, and this is an awesome minifigure. And the LEGO Group, they just did a phenomenal job with him as well. I think it's really great how they used not only a great level of detail printing, but also they have a new mold for Ronan, and I think that's awesome. The use of new molds in these Guardian sets has definitely been great on LEGO Group's part. But yeah, so obviously Ronan is after the orb for a certain someone who I guess would also be a massive spoiler. But the orb is included with the set as well. It's included with all three sets, and this time Ronan has got it, and you guys have seen this before. It's just a basic piece, just obviously molded in a chrome color. But yeah, there's the orb. And other than that, though, we do have this accessory accessory for Ronan, which is what is pretty much considered they call it his rod, but it's pretty much just in this case, given that this is Lego, it's just a basic rod piece with a 1x1 modified brick and a cheese slope attached to it, which is fine because that's pretty much how it looks anyway. So great design on the Lego group's part, but we're gonna go ahead and remove it, even though it is his primary weapon. So yeah, now what's going on with Ronan here is that we have a lot of, like I said, very detailed and accurate printing, but also a new mold. And obviously Ronan in the film is blue, so we get some really nice blue components here, given being his head and his hands. So but the newly molded hood armor head piece type thing, whatever it is, I don't know what it is that Ronan's wearing, but it's still pretty cool, and the Lego Group has done a great job replicating it based on what we have seen so far in the trailers. I think it looks really awesome, and I love how it actually has like shoulder pads instead of it just being like one solid hood piece, and the chrome printing on top of that is really awesome, and it's a great new mold, and it's pretty much solid plastic. It is pretty much, it's not the highest quality plastic, but at least it's not rubber. So yeah, now that we have the headpiece off though, we can get a better look at Ronan's head, and Ronan's head is pretty much, he's got this like black face paint going on, and other than that, there was really just a basic aggressive facial expression printed onto this blue head. And then if we go ahead and wrap around here, you can see we do have the more toned down facial expression for Ronan, and you can barely even tell, but his mouth is actually right there, even though it's kind of like just touching the black face paint, so you can barely tell that it is his mouth, but it is there. And very basic facial expressions, but they still definitely work for this character. And yeah, so if we go ahead and tilt him up just a bit to get a better look at the torso, you can see the torso is definitely really awesome with the same blood splatter effect that we've seen on pretty much all these Sakarans and their vehicles. So I don't know if he has any relation to the Sakarans. I'm pretty sure he does, but it's still pretty cool to see on this minifigure, along with all the different little rivets running through his armor, along with these different little gray linings on the sides of the torso. It's really great and highly detailed. That's what's really great about these Guardians minifigures overall, is how detailed they are. And even the gray on his legs here, there's actually a slight little like netting pattern running through the gray on his legs. That's honestly nuts. And not to mention the detail that's next to that on around the middle. There's even some printing on the actual center of the belt piece. So absolutely great printing work on the Lego Group's part. They really made sure to get these designs right, given that we may not be seeing any more Guardians of the Galaxy sets for quite a while, unless there's a Guardians of the Galaxy sequel. So I think the Lego Group really wanted to make sure that they did these characters justice. And then you can see the detail does continue from the front of the torso onto the back of the torso. So that's pretty awesome. But other than that, guys, that's pretty much it for Ronan the Accuser. He is exclusive to this set, and he is the main villain for the film. And according to what I believe I forget the actor's name, but he was the Elven King in Lord of the Rings. Apparently this guy is just pure evil, so we'll see how that plays out in the film, but there's your representation of the character in Lego form. Alright, and for our final minifigure, we have the standard Sakaran minifigure that we've seen in all three of these new Guardian sets, and easily the highlight of this new Sakaran minifigure is the fact that he has a newly molded rifle, which is honestly really great, and I definitely love how you can attach two studs on both sides of it, which is pretty cool, and you can also have the minifigure grip its pump, and I guess you would consider that a pump. It's a pretty alien-like gun, so I don't really know if you would consider that to actually be a pump on a gun, but it's still pretty awesome and a great design nonetheless. And yeah, so you can see if we go ahead and remove the hood though, he does have a really nicely detailed head, and obviously he only has one eye there, but the entire minifigure is covered in like this sort of wrinkled type of texture to it. Obviously it's not an actual texture, but it's sure, that's pretty much the closest word I could use to describe it, because it's spread throughout the majority of this minifigure's design. And what I really like about the eyes of the Sakaran is that it actually has two shades of gray in all three of its eyes, and I say all three because it has one eye on the front and then two on the back. I'll get to the other side in a second, but that's really awesome because it actually makes the eyes sort of like glow in some sense. But the torso is really great with the Sakaran like claw mark that we've been seeing on them, which is really cool, and the gray lines that wrap around the torso, you can see it kind of looks like C-3PO in some ways, but yeah, it's a really great, nicely detailed torso, not to mention the other side of the minifigure here, and I guess we can use this as the opportunity to talk about the alternative facial expression. And honestly, this is the alternative facial expression is what I prefer, because it looks more menacing, and it's just cooler, if you ask me, and I like it certainly a lot more than the front, even though the front is still really awesome and accurate as well. This is great in my opinion for the most part. And you can see that we do have the back of the torso, which is pretty much just a continuation of the front. It's basically just the same thing that we saw on the front, but without the claw marks, but obviously it is unique in very minor ways. But other than that, that's pretty much it for the standard Sakaran soldier. Definitely a great infantry type of like soldier for the villains. I mean, obviously, I guess you could say villain, because we've only got Ronan here, who's the main villain for the film. But yeah, guys, that's pretty much it for the minifigures. Now we can take a look at the actual set. Alright, and now we have the Milano itself, the Milano Spaceship, basically the Millennium Falcon for all 5 of these badasses, and it's a great design on the LEGO Group's part. Obviously, it's out of scale, but I'm still glad the LEGO Group was able to they were able to give us a pretty decent interior for this thing, which I'm really satisfied with, not to mention the overall design and the overall accuracy of this thing. It's straight out of Guardians of the Galaxy, and I really appreciate what the LEGO Group has done here, so let's dive into it by breaking this segment of the video up into sections. The Milano's really spacious interior is actually more accessible than I thought it was going to be, because you actually lift off this entire piece and it gives you full access to the interior and everything it has to offer. And you can see we have the main pilot seat right here, which is really nice, and I absolutely love the hinges that are used here just to add a little bit more design to it. And something I wanted to note on, though, is the LEGO Group actually used a Star Wars control panel piece, so I guess Star-Lord's going to kind of do a bad job of piloting the Milano, given he can't exactly read Arabesh, because he's not from the Star Wars universe. But you can see there is a 2x2 space available for a minifigure to sit on. You can just put him right there, and he sits there pretty nicely. It's a great little seat, too. And then we have 3 other available seats, and 2 of them are for Drax and Gamora, and then the other 2 are for Rocket, who is not included with this set. But we don't have a seat for Groot, because LEGO was like, hey, we don't appreciate Groot, I guess. I don't know why LEGO Group made Groot like this, but he can't fit in the Milano or anything else that's minifig scale, and he's not included with the set, by the way, but I just figured I'd criticize him wherever I can. I'm terrible. But yeah, so these 2 seats are there mainly for Drax and Gamora, so you just put Drax right there in that seat, and then Gamora on his opposite, and they fit in really nicely, because obviously they're just basic chair pieces. But yeah, you actually have 2 little clips next to Star-Lord as I try to get her to sit down. Oh my god, it's a little bit more harder, it's a little bit more difficult with her hairpiece, but there we go. So you can see there are actually 2 clips on both sides of Star-Lord, and in the set there isn't actually anything included that you can clip onto those, but I mean they're there if you have any additional accessories. I guess you can clip Star-Lord's pistols onto them, but honestly they're not, it's kind of hard to get in there to clip on anything, but they are there if you do have any accessories you'd like to pin onto those 2 little clips. And there's actually a fire extinguisher back here, which I thought was kind of funny, because this is the first real film that's going to jettison us out away from Earth and into the what's going on in the cosmic side from the Marvel Cinematic Universe, and it's like, so I guess aliens use fire extinguishers, too. So that's cool. Got a little bit ahead of myself there, but yeah. Then we also have Star-Lord's boombox that we saw in the second trailer when Groot got frightened by it, and like I said, you can't recreate that scene with Groot. Sad face. But you can put Rocket there, or any of the other minifig scale Guardians. Obviously, it doesn't have to be in that same order. But yeah, so there's the interior of the Milano. Definitely more than I was expecting, to be completely honest with you. And you have a little window back here, which is a little bit more visible if you fold up this engine. But yeah, so there's the interior for the Milano. Definitely, like I said, a lot more to be seen there than I was truly expecting. So really awesome. I wanted to note on this at some point during the review. I really like what the LEGO Group did here, having this plate with additional angular plates attached to it, this disc piece on both sides. I like what the LEGO Group did here by adding these as the front and center of the vehicle, because it looks really great and they're attached really nicely. It's just a really sleek design. I kind of appreciate that, because it just it makes it look like a really nicely designed vehicle, which it is. So in terms of the Milano's firepower, it's kind of funny because half of the firepower, half of the weaponry works, and then half of it's just there for show. So we'll get you will get Ronan's personal necrocraft over here, and I guess Ronan himself too, if he'll stand up for me. And stand up, there we go. And so pretty much right here you have this cannon here. This is just there for show. It doesn't actually do anything, and obviously what I'm about to show you is literally the exact same on the other side. So this can't do anything, and neither can this. This missile here here and this missile here don't actually fire, they're just there for show, but these two can. So you have one of the new blasters here, and then a flick fire missile here. Now my problem with this flick fire missile is, as you can see, it's really not that accessible, and it's kind of hard to get your finger in there, but if you can, it is pretty, you know, functional for the most part. It's just, honestly, I feel like there should have been a spring-loaded shooter here and not a flick fire missile, because this is where flick fire missiles don't work, and it's just really hard to fire it. It's not a great place for a flick fire missile, and that's a little bit of a problem. So I mean, if you have an extra spring-loaded shooter that you can put there, that'd be great, because honestly, it's kind of difficult to fire this flick fire missile given the position it's in. And but these are much more accessible, because all you have to do with the new blasters is simply just pull on them, and these are really posable too. Like, LEGO Group actually added a great deal of articulation to these on both sides of this vehicle, and obviously you guys know the new blasters just push down on this lever and then they fire really accurately and really well, and you can see, despite the stud flying away, that's why LEGO Group gives you extra pieces wherever they give you these types of weapons, because you're going to lose them. And I actually just grabbed this stud from the pile of extra pieces over there to my left. But yeah, so other than that though, that's pretty much it for the weaponry that the Milano has. It's not as much as you might think, and it's kind of disappointing that, you know, some of it can't even be used. I would have appreciated some spring-loaded shooters. This would have been a great set to have them in, but if you have some by your, you know, left over, then now would be the time to pull them out. And then back here we have the engines. The engines are actually really cool. I especially love these two, because they have these orange bricks on the, not only on the bottom, but running through the center of these little engines too, so you can kind of see them. There's like an orange plate there and an orange plate actually inside there too, so it really looks like an engine. I definitely appreciate that. And not only that, but these studs wrapping around it really make it look that much more detailed as well, and you do get two of these obviously, and they can rotate a full 360 degrees, which is also pretty nice. And then you have this engine, which can be folded up a bit, not really that much, or else you're gonna, like you just saw, pop off the main cockpit piece here, but it is still pretty nice to have, regardless of its, you know, limitation, as you can see there. But yeah, there's some nice studs here, and what I kind of wish that the LEGO did here was that it could have been a good place to add a tile here, because you have a bunch of exposed technicals, which it's not that big of a deal, but I mean, would have been a good place for a tile. Just minor little gripe there, but yeah. So now we're briefly going to go over all the stickers that this vehicle has to offer, and that will lead us into the main wings back here, so I can show you what they do. But you can see we have a sticker here on this little lime 2x2 you know, circular plate, and that's pretty cool. And you can see it's literally just a red ring, but still, hey, why not? And then back here we have, or up here we have this little flap here, and you can see this is actually a sticker as well, with a pretty nice level of detail. And just, you know, this is obviously all just to add more detail, like the use of most stickers is. You can see then we have the wings, and the wings are actually really awesome. Now this is the only part of the wings that really isn't posable, these. Other than that, these three wings are actually fully posable, and you can bend them up and down, which is really awesome. This one can be bent up and down. You can see it even has like a little transparent blue piece hanging down from it, which is pretty cool. The piece that we see on, you know, used on flick fire missiles. And then we also have these, which can bend back and forth, and that's pretty awesome as well. And then this one as well this one actually has the most articulation out of all of them, the bottom one, so that's kind of cool. But yeah, I mean, it's not really that exciting, but I mean, it still adds a nice level of posability, given that I assume these wings are going to be shifting position quite a bit in the movie. But yes, you do have stickers on literally all three of these wings, and once again, this wing is just kind of left out, but these three are posable and all have stickers, and the same can be said for the other side as well. So really awesome, and the stickers definitely work with this vehicle, and they add a nice level of detail where it is needed. And other than that though, one thing I do want to mention is that we have the Hadron, I don't know how to pronounce it yet. The movie isn't out yet, but this is what Star-Lord, I think, is. This is like Star-Lord, I can't speak today, I can't words. This is like Star-Lord's secret weapon, I assume, and it's actually a little, kind of like a little piece that it's not really that exciting, but I mean, it's directly out of the film, which is, that alone is exciting to me. So we're going to lift off the top of the Milano here and pull it out, and this is basically, you have a couple handlebars. I really can't talk today. We have a couple handlebars on both sides of it, and you can see Star-Lord's little hook hands obviously clip on to it really nicely if you can get it in the right position, and it works. And I think it's great that the LEGO Group actually decided to pull this out of the movie, because I think he's going to use it quite a bit at some point in the movie, so it's nice to actually have it in a set, is what I was saying. So pretty cool little Hadron Enforcer. I don't know how to pronounce it yet. Like I said, the movie isn't out yet. But yeah, then you just put his boosters on it, and he can exit the Milano to attack Ronan and his personal Necrocraft. So that's a pretty cool little playability function to have the Enforcer for Star-Lord to use. And Ronan's personal Necrocraft is pretty awesome. It is different from the others, obviously, because you get 3 different variations of Sakaran vehicles throughout the Guardian sets. But yeah, so the way this one works is it actually has a couple of little spaces for Ronan to stand on both sides of it, and that's pretty cool. I don't really know how safe it is for Ronan to be standing on the edge of a ship while it's in motion, but hey, he's a badass villain, so why the heck not? I mean, he's kind of being motivated by Thanos to grab the orb from the Guardians, so I mean, I would stand on the edge of crap too. But yeah, you can see we have the standard Sakaran symbol here as well. These are both stickers, just like the way we've seen them on pretty much all these 3 Guardians of the Galaxy sets. This does open up really nicely, and you can see we can seat our Sakaran in there very nicely. Very basic control panel piece, though, not as exciting as the control panel pieces used in the other sets. But Sakaran fits really nicely in there as well with his gun, which is a nice change to things. It's nice that the minifigures can still grip onto their accessories while being in cockpits. But yeah, then you have the engine back here, which is certainly not that exciting either. But I mean, this entire thing really isn't that exciting. It's just kind of like the bad guy ship to go up against your big good guy ship. So if that specifies it in any sort of way whatsoever. But you can see we have these little guns down here. These don't actually do anything. They're just there for show. But this is where we do get flick fire missile or spring-loaded shooters. My bad, spring-loaded shooters in this set. The Milano may not have them, but the Sakarans do have them, so they can use them against the Guardians. And you guys know the way spring-loaded shooters work. You just simply push down on them, and they fire really effectively. And definitely, like I said, best playability feature the LEGO Group has ever come up with, but just doesn't look like Lego. And that is just my own opinion on the spring-loaded shooters, but they're still really effective, and especially for this set, I just kind of wish the Milano would have had some spring-loaded shooters of their own. But other than that, guys, that is pretty much it for our final Guardians of the Galaxy set. Absolutely cannot wait for Guardians of the Galaxy and finally being able to see what's going on elsewhere in the galaxy aside from Asgard for the Marvel Cinematic Universe, and it's going to definitely be the funniest Marvel Cinematic Universe film to date, so I'm looking forward to it as a whole. And actually, the film is going to be debuting during Brick Fair while I'm there with all my friends, so that's going to be awesome. We're all going to go see it that night when it premieres. Other than that, guys, there you go, the last of the Guardians of the Galaxy sets. I've had a great time reviewing them, and now we're going to take a look at the box, instruction manual, comic book, extra pieces, and we'll conclude this review. This is a $74 set, and honestly should be a $60 set, but I mean, you do get a really long box. Like, this box is freaking longer than I thought it was going to be, but I'm not complaining. It's just kind of funny how long this box is. But yeah, so really awesome box art. You can see we have the Milano soaring through the galaxy, and then Ronan coming for the orb on his personal Necrocraft, along with Ronan also sporting the actual size reference, so that's pretty cool on the top there, and then on the back, we have pretty much all the features that I just went over in this review, and really just nothing else. So very basic box, but hey, definitely gets the job done because it's the biggest of the Guardians of the Galaxy sets, and it comes with this, you know, like 4 of the main characters, and that's honestly enough for you to want to buy this thing. So yeah, man, awesome box for an awesome set. The instruction manuals for the Milano Spaceship Rescue are actually just about the same length. We have the first instruction manual here, which is a total of 63 pages, and there's nothing else really that it has going on, no cool advertisements or anything. But then the second instruction manual is literally only 1 page shorter, and it's only a total of 62 pages to build the Milano Spaceship Rescue, which I actually thought was kind of funny. Where's the 62nd page? It's right there. So literally only 62 pages, you know, so literally only a 1 page difference from the other instruction manual. But yeah, all the features that are included with the vehicle, along with an advertisement for LEGO Marvel Superheroes, because why not? And then we also have an advertisement for the entirety of the LEGO Marvel Superheroes Guardians of the Galaxy lineup, which now I have officially finished reviewing, and the other 2 reviews are available on my channel. But other than that, guys, that's pretty much it for the instruction manuals, and it's what you'd expect, really. Then we have, yet again, the 4th and final time that I'm having to show this comic book, because it's literally the exact same comic book in all 4 of these new Marvel sets, so it's not that new for me or any of you guys who have seen the other reviews. But yeah, so the front here we have the main Guardians of the Galaxy characters, and that's pretty awesome. Really nice cover art, along with the Milano and the Star Blaster up in the top right corner there. And then I'm not really going to give you a commentary over this. You can just pause it if you'd like to have a look at what's going on in this comic book. But like I said in the past 3 reviews of this thing, I really have to give the LEGO Group kudos. You know, I have to give them props, rather, for really nice illustrations with these comic books. They're always really nice to have in, you know, comic book sets. So I really appreciate actually getting these in each lineup, and the LEGO Group is consistent with giving us one in each lineup. So yeah, really nice comic book, and a nice little story to tell that we have going on the LEGO side of things, you know, outside of the actual film. And from what I'm seeing, there are no spoilers to be had in this comic book, unlike previous previous LEGO Marvel universe, like I said earlier, I can't talk today. There's no spoilers to be had, because like with the Iron Man 3 sets, there was like a serious spoiler that Pepper got into the Iron Man suit that no one really knew at the time, so that was kind of a spoiler, but there are no spoilers in this instruction manual, in this comic book this time around, which is kind of nice. But then you have an advertisement, or I guess you can say a cover art for the X-Men set, which I also reviewed. Once again, link to that, or not link to that, but you know, link to my, never mind. So you get a handful of extra pieces this time around, quite a few. You get the basic brick separator. You actually get a couple of extra flex tubes, which is pretty nice, because these are actually useful to me as a customizer, because I actually use these with my custom Deathstroke recently. And we get an extra spring-loaded shooter, because obviously LEGO includes extra ones of those with every set that they come in. And then you have another flex tube, but this time in brown. And then the rest, you get this as well for the extra, for these back here, the new blasters, so that's pretty nice. Once again, evil face. These things have a face, I'm telling you. But yeah, other than that though, it's really just a lot of extra studs, a lot of extra tiles, a lot of extra plates and connectors. You do get an extra katana for Gamora, so that's pretty cool. So you can have her dual-wielding swords if you'd like, but obviously, you know, that's not the way she actually fights in the film. And then you get an extra couple of these hose pieces, and just a lot of extra pieces, an extra booster piece for Star-Lord. You get a lot of extra pieces with this thing, like, my god.
You don't have to be the bad guy, because you are the special.
Alright guys, and there you go. That is it for all three of the reviews on the LEGO Marvel Superheroes Guardians of the Galaxy sets, and I am really looking forward to this film, but I'm also really glad that we're finally done with the YouTube reviews, because like I mentioned in the beginning of this video, I'm going to take the 5 major Guardians of the Galaxy characters, and I'm going to paint them and do whatever I think is necessary to make them even more accurate than the LEGO Group already managed to make them. And I really got to respect the LEGO Group for what they did with this lineup, not just in terms of the minifigures and how accurate they were, especially with all these new molds and the great, designs of the printing, but also the actual vehicles that we got with these sets themselves. And I mean, I'm really glad that the LEGO Group actually went with giving us vehicles and giving us locations that are actually going to be in the movie, unlike last year's Iron Man 3 sets. And I've been referencing the Iron Man 3 sets a lot because that's the last time we received sets based on the Marvel Cinematic Universe. But yeah, guys, so that's pretty much it for these reviews. I am really looking forward to this movie, and if you enjoyed this review or found it informative, be sure to let me know by dropping this video a like below and or your opinion in the comments, as they definitely mean a lot, either of the two, and they go a long way, because it's not as easy as you might think to get these reviews done in a timely fashion, and that's why these reviews usually aren't out as fast as you might expect them to be. But yeah, so you can also follow me on the Twitter and the book face, and there I post all kinds of behind the scenes photos and updates of what I'm up to and what's to come for my channel. And I've been doing a lot of Arrow stuff and Captain America the Winter Soldier things and all kinds of different figures that I'm working on that are being shown over there right now, so definitely check that out. Links to both of those are always in the description below as well. But yeah guys, there you go, the Guardians of the Galaxy sets, and I can't wait to be back reviewing Marvel Cinematic Universe sets again for the Avengers Age of Ultron next year. That's going to be awesome, and probably even better than these sets, so looking forward to it all, guys. Hopefully you are too, and I will catch you next time. Alright,
Bye!
what's going on, guys? This is Michael MGF, and in the beginning of this video, I'm going to be damn it. No, stop. No. Freaking Guardians of the Galaxy set reviews, and no. Here we go with the Milano. It's I don't want that in the frame. What the hell? Newly molded. I'm done. Okay, I will do this later.